makes the really touchdown-saving tackle, Chris.
Yeah.
Come
I
on
thought for
in.
a second he was fixing to bounce that thing out and take it.
Well, they hit
Right
him at
there.
the line of scrimmage, just like we've been hitting Keys. And
We have
that time,
Gulfport that's going
Trey
to
Lewis
win
did his
and go to
best
the
Ty
state
Keys
championship
impression. They want to
game
shake
next
him off and
Saturday.
get a big
This right
gain.
here is
So 1st and 10
Columbia.
now.
Fourth quarter, they just
Bills
stopped
to turn. There's a
Poplarville.
give this time. They'll get it out across the 20. A pick up of 3.
They have Picayune
The Wildcats will have it.
Spot him at the 2. Great team.
is down. It
speed,
is that
special
Hattiesburg
teams
score
for
here. You see in the
Hattiesburg.
third
They
quarter.
are tremendous and open.
Earlier in the year.
Well, let's hope he's okay. He's going to
Let me
hobble
mute.
off. Trey Lewis will check back in.
See if I open up this
along with
page,
Junior
open it up
Kearney.
bigger here. Because this
Play
is,
clock,
as you see, under
13.
6 minutes left to go. Poplarville went for it on 4th down inside the 5-yard line.
Everybody packed in
They
tight.
figure,
for the
hey,
Hornets.
make a drive
There's a turn to give to Lewis.
the length of the field.
Stays on his feet. Be out about a yard and a half shy of the 1st down marker. It'll bring up a 3rd. And
And
well, we'll
Gulfport
call it 2.
is 6 for 6, 6 drives, 6 touchdowns.
Stat sheets.
Bulldogs do, of course, going to drop this game tonight. They're going to achieve.
And you see right there, 40-0. It's a running clock.
Very dramatic way, as you just.
So Peters and Lewis in the backfield. Turn. They fake it. 1st down. Clyde Peters.
Whoa, he brought him down.
Finally,
There's a horse
they get
collar.
the horse collar call. Clyde Peters off to
You
the
have,
races there.
Change left, but if you're going to score twice,
Picayune.
you've got to at least have
Zay
that
Dennis
clock kinda
is-
running in your
has
head. And you
several
trail at
touchdowns.
34-20. Here is Dennis. Dennis trying to get the corner, just tough to get tonight against the team speed.
Let me try to see how much
of the
time is
Tigers.
left in
He's
this
had
one.
An awesome night.
Took it to the house, but that'll push it into Hornet territory. That'll move it out to the 46-yard line.
Like I say, Gulfport has a running clock on Brandon.
So
5:20
Wildcats with a 1st and 10.
left to go. 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
They'll fake it to Lewis. Peters will keep it. Pushes out near the 39-yard line. So a pickup of about 4.
See what the tie dial up. Boy, oh boy, AK fired off early.
Boy,
AK was on a different count.
It's kind of gimpy on that ankle. If he's going to go back in. I'm not sure what maybe he's seen something he's letting him know that he's seeing.
if you're hearing
So
a couple of
2nd
different
and
broadcasts,
6.
I don't know what you guys are hearing, but besides myself, and hopefully you're hearing the game. But I also got Picayune on.
Wildcats will keep it on the ground. Give it to Lewis. Still on his feet, pushing out near the 41, 39-yard line. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
Just big boy football here tonight.
Gulfport coming up on 4 minutes. Again, it's a running clock,
Both
40
teams
to
just trying
nothing.
grind out those dirty
Gulfport
yards.
has, needless to say,
3rd and
dominated
3.
the game. Picayune needs some help to come back down by 17.
Wildcats will just keep it on the ground with Peters. He should have the 1st down.
33, I'm
Gets
sorry,
out
13,
across
33
the
to
35
20.
for a Wildcat
And
1st down.
Poplarville trying to go back to defend.
Wildcats, I
And that's
think,
gonna be
will have
end
full
of the
complement
third
of
quarter
timeouts
for-
left in this one.
So they say one more quarter
So
for
out of
Picayune to
timeouts,
come back down by 13.
22 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
But I'll
Sophie
mute
Barnes
this.
will
Let me
tuning
see.
in from Fort Worth, Texas.
So I'm not sure exactly what we've got going on here. I don't know if they're wanting to measure.
You guys can hear the broadcasters, correct? They
They're gonna
Poplarville,
have to measure this one.
Okay.
As many as we've seen Poplarville get.
this is the Brand and Gulfport live stream went out.
Punching a ticket.
This is Brand and Jake Wimberly, who we had it on the other night.
Going to
You can see the running clock, 3 minutes left.
10-yard line, 8-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of about 12.
Maybe not quite half a ball. Maybe at least we're a little short.
He's short. It's going to be
Oh,
4th
nice.
down. They're going to
Yeah.
obviously go for it. We got 2:40 left to go in the
Looked
Gulfport
like
game.
Peters picked it up pretty easily. They didn't give us the spot, obviously, and then they measured and we're about 3 inches short. So it'll be 4th down, I think, here for the Wildcats.
Marty Stringer tuning in from Chickasha, Oklahoma. Let's hope you can get us a first down here, Marty. So 4th and inches.
I'm
Like
not
to see a
sure
hard count, maybe.
of the timeout situation, where if they don't get it, if it not necessarily ball game.
So 4th and inches for the Wildcats. There's the give.
Oh.
They've got all over it. Let's see if Wild if
And
he
the
outside.
cameraman.
He gets the first down. That's Trey Lewis.
What a
ladies
man.
and gentlemen.
What a man.
They had him stone cold.
Not just going ahead and getting to the ground and giving up. So,
Oh, yeah, and you
very
see the
disappointed, but Bulldogs do avoid the shutout.
the clock. You see the clock's running, and Brandon scored
Eldridge for the point after attempt.
42.
So all in all, just be patient.
See
with
what
the
it does
staff.
here.
When I say the staff, I'm talking about the
The
administrative staff.
administration, right. And again, I think it's a situation where you don't rush.
Rolling now. Wildcats with a fresh set of downs. Clyde will turn, keep it to himself. He cuts it up inside. He may go, and he will score. So Clyde Peters able to take it
Man,
first to the left, then back up the middle for the Wildcat touchdown with 2:40 left to go. Wildcats regain the lead.
So give him 31 on the touchdown run.
So the Wildcats lead by 4. They'll have to go for 2. So Peters will fake it to Daniels, flip it inside to Lewis.
Should be a penalty
Yeah,
right
it
there,
should
which
be.
would be huge if you throw the flag on the kickoff.
Yeah, that's a big break there for the Hornets. Got a little chippy after Trey Lewis went in for the 2-point conversion.
They will represent the South as time expires. The Admirals and Blake Pinnock have done it 40-7 tonight. The
So that
last
is the
game
final.
here at Joseph Milner Stadium, Lindy Callahan Field. They do it in a big way, defeating the Brandon Bulldogs 40-7. Gulfport will represent the South in the 7A state championship next week in Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah, of course, we're still kind of waiting to see what happens to Tupelo and Oxford. But again, this game on paper.
So Peters.
So Brock White just pointed out Poplarville
said
has used all their timeouts.
Man, Poplarville's used it.
So just
all
don't
their
want to really give
timeouts.
up anything big right here on this kickoff, Drew.
So Lewis will get set to kick it off. They'll kick it, and that's going to come down to Ty Keys, Chris. Let's get it. Got to get him on the ground, and finally do. Thank goodness. Took a shot around the 25, kept his feet, but was able to fall forward out across the 30. So the Hornets will take over first down from their own 32.
And I'm not sure. They kind of snuck him over there because I know we weren't trying to kick it. He's kind of hung out on that far right side on those kickoffs all night, and that time he snuck into that over here where that ball came down.
So Ty Keys will take the direct snap, try the right side. He's got some space and out near a first down. So they'll should give it to him. Look like they do. So a pickup of 10 just like that from Ty Keys.
I thought he was. I'm not sure about all that. The quick moving of the chains for my taste. Clock running, 2:16, no timeouts left for the Hornets. Wildcats needing to get a stop. Turnover here would be massive.
Keys will take it. makes a couple of guys miss, stays on his feet, but falls forward. They'll give him to the 49-yard
Yes,
line.
Ace.
Wildcats
That
almost
was
got him in the backfield, Chris, but
I
again,
was a nice win, a dominant win.
to stay on his feet
40
and
to
fall
7. Gulfport will go back
forward.
since
Second and 5 for the Hornets.
1982 is when they played in a state
Keys will try the
championship
right
game.
side. They'll have a first down. Pushes it out around the 40 Wildcat 45. The clock will stop momentarily.
Just keep him bottled up. He has a tendency to get.
They did, Preston. They Gulfport 6 for 6.
So first and 10. This time they'll give it to somebody other than Keys. Thank you very much.
6 drives, 6 touchdowns.
120
They
and
did
running.
everything and everything. Poplarville doesn't have any
Second
more
down
timeouts.
and 9.
That's just the only thing.
Hornets. Wildcat defense, get ready. Let's go.
But of course, they got
So
Keys
second
and
and
they got the
9.
other. They could
See if
obviously
they try to
score.
slip Keys out on a pass play here.
They are.
Oh,
They will send him
something
out.
looked awkward on that.
He's gassed.
Wildcats able
Slip.
to. Hopefully that's a holding on the Hornets, but a sack
something-
on the Wildcats.
Something
but
looked odd when they started to
they
play.
stop and play on the flag.
The Picayune is 33 to 20. They're somewhat early in the fourth quarter. They're in a timeout.
So it is a holding on the Hornets. That'll back them up.
So I think they were going to try to slip Keys down the sidelines. Keys was running, just kind of fell down. I don't know if he was trying to draw a flag.
Now I don't
or
have to
exactly
see what the score is
he was
of
doing.
the
I'm not sure
Oxford
who got back there and got the big
game.
sack for
That's
the
who they'll play:
Wildcats.
Gulfport, Oxford, or the defending champions.
And that'll back
Tupelo.
them up to the 46-yard line. There's 59 seconds remaining. It's second and 19 to go.
So Keys will take the direct snap. He'll take it. Try the left side. Got some blocking. When he brought down after a gain of about 2, clock still running. It'll be 3rd and long now for the Hornets.
So 3rd and 16 here, Drew. Keys back there. Wildcats getting set here.
Keys will take it. Trying the left side. He's wrapped up by a host of Wildcat defenders.
They'll have a hard time getting this last one off. Wildcat defense just needs to get themselves ready.
Get
set,
ready.
20. Well, you can see it. 20 seconds left. 4th down.
4th down.
18. I'm not sure if you're seeing this clock or not. We're at 16 seconds. Come on, Wildcat defense.
So the Wildcat, he will throw it, trying to slip a guy out, and overthrows him.
That's game.
Wildcats are headed to the state championship, folks. They have beat the Hornets 20-14
So
here on a cold November night.
So the clock goes zeros, and the Wildcats are on their way to the Starkville. Burns might just want to stay on up there next the whole week.
Son-in-law,
we're
we're coming
going
up there to see
to,
you. Just got to hold tight.
Trailing by
Switch
3
over. Well,
scores,
Hattiesburg just scored.
41-21. What's impressed you tonight about the Tigers, Rick? We've studied them for a while now. Now we get to see them live and in person. What
Well,
has
it's
impressed
been
you?
the same thing that we were kind of talking about is their defense, right? You've mentioned their team speed on defense a lot tonight, but looking at what Zay Dennis did to close out the first half, and then coming back and you had 3 plays and we go 67 yards, something like that, with just 3 runs, 2 good ones by Zay and then 1 long one by Moto, and then they come back and we haven't done anything since. It's been 2 punts.
Oxford, yeah, I
Jamari
think they're
Hathorn
live
with a
streaming it.
turn up to the
But of course,
32.
Oxford, Tupelo defending
Two
champs, Dave.
receivers there.
They're
One
tough.
thing Hattiesburg does, man, even if
Obviously,
Staff's
they're
gonna need
tough.
an ice bath after, they work hard on this near side. We've got a front look at it. Before that kick, Coach Lacey's basically pointing out to his kicker where to go with it, Rick. I mean, they are super hands-on with this club. Coach Steigner and his group have done a fine job. Coach Lacey in his first year with Hattiesburg, duplicating a South State berth. Here's a give to Zay Dennis. Dennis trying to work it from right to left. He's made a break for it to the 40, made a dance move. Now he's across midfield. What a spectacular run by Zay Dennis. Gets it to the 42, Rick. How did he turn that into that against this team speed that we bragged about all night for Hattiesburg? If you could tell me he could make a run like that against this talented 11, that was a great run by Dennis. Did that get him over the 200-yard mark?
I believe so. It was a 26-yard gain there, and Zay's going to be 17 rushes now, 208 yards, and all three of the Maroon Tide scores. We got to get more of that, and it's got to be quick.
Yes, we do. Here is Macon Burnett, the fullback, senior. Going to churn those big legs down to the 26, Will Macon Burnett.
Yeah, big Mitchell Smith there. He pulled him for a couple extra yards. Take that.
You talk about doing it quick. We're under the 8:50 mark here in tonight's ball game. Tide trying to make up a 21-point advantage that Hattiesburg currently holds. Tide faithful, though, haven't moved an inch on that far side. Here's Moto trying to make a run of it. Jamari Hathorn still alive. About a 3-yard pickup. That was a tough run by Jamari Hathorn. You think about it, Rick, Jamari coming back and Zay coming back. That's a heck of a 1-2 combo that have gotten a
Brooko even is leading Laurel for those in 5A.
Not to mention Moto's 5 picks.
31-6. That was the third quarter.
It's a big deal. Yeah, three tough yards there by Moto.
Yeah, Tupelo goes up 21-20, 7:45 left in the fourth quarter over Oxford. That is who Gulfport will play.
Here, Hattiesburg, though, right where they needed to be. No gain on the play. We're under the 8-minute mark. Hattiesburg on top of our Tide, 41-20. If you're joining us on the booth cam, check out the YouTube channel for the closing moments of this ball game. Should be a link in the comments so you can see the game other than a booth cam. Colt Robertson going to tuck himself under center. The senior QB gives it to his wing back. That's Jordan Hathorn. Lowered his shoulder on a guy at about the 22. That balled him up to the 20. An impressive run there by the senior Jordan Hathorn. Has had a tremendous career here for the Tide. Been a really good football player, right, Rick? We've had a pleasure to call Jordan Hathorn's action through the years.
Yep.
Fun one to watch.
He's been great, man. Going to be a 13-yard pickup, his best pickup of the night.
Tide now with just 7 minutes left to try to make up this ground. Here's Zay Dennis, just had to put his foot in the ground and cut it up, and Will to the mark of the 16-yard line. And some extracurriculars here after the fact. Allen with another stop. He's made a bunch of plays, Rick. He's one we circled earlier in the week, and it's kind of easy to say, hey, you can't let this guy destroy the game.
Yep.
Easier said than done, right?
That's right. He's been a good one.
He absolutely has.
Just a sophomore.
A fake give and a pass to the end zone to Hathorn, and it's incomplete. As Jordan Hathorn flashed open momentarily, but the defensive back able to get himself back into the play and deflect it down incomplete.
Yeah, that was one play where it maybe had a little bit too much loft on that one. And as you said, allow that D-back to get back in coverage there, but another big third down here for the Maroon Tide. Gotta hurry.
Yep, Tide now closing in on the 6-minute mark as the weather starting to play a part even on me, Rick. Is cold out here tonight. Is Zay Dennis trying to get around the right side, the power. Going to be short of the sticks, going to bring up a 4th down. 4th and about 1.5 yards is what we should have depending on the spot, and it will be. So obviously, Rick, you got to have this one. You're under the 6-minute mark. You're trailing by 3 scores and you're facing a 4th and about a yard and a half. Need to tuck it inside the 10-yard line here for the Tide. You've got 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the set. It'll be the power out to the left. It's got the first down and then some. Look at Dennis spin ahead up to the 5-yard line. Goes Zay Dennis. Just continues to run the football hard. Dennis has been hit, Rick, tonight. We talked about, we even
As far as
post game
with the Poplarville, they used several timeouts inside the 10-yard line. They were trying to get that touchdown, and they didn't. They turned it over on downs.
A week ago, will need
so yes, timeouts are very
over the rest of the weekend. Here's the bull,
worth a lot more in the second half, and unfortunately, they didn't have one when they needed one because he was getting tired. But I mean, still, you know, very good season for Poplarville, and
we'll wait the point after the Diamond Production.
Obviously, it's disappointing, but make it to South State. It's still a good job.
And Diamond Productions for the stream tonight. Jackson Harrelson over working the camera for us once again tonight. He's been along for the ride all year long. PAT is good from Edgar Cruz, and so the senior Macon Burnett, Rick, from that fullback position has fought back from injury and has scored on back-to-back weeks for the Maroon Tide.
Yep, Maroon Tide go 68 yards in 10 plays, take 5 minutes and 10 seconds. That's some valuable time off of that clock. And going to get down to a two-score game now. Bull goes in from 5 yards out.
It'd be a bit warmer up here, Rick, if we were able to get this onside kick. Don't you believe?
I do.
Because 2 scores is a bunch with 5:10 left, but if you got an onside kick, it'd get that old hope machine to pump pretty hard here, and we'd be happy about that. Let's see how Cruz can hit it. He's got it teed up at his 40. Cruz, an incredible soccer kid. And here's a ball that's loose, a scramble for it. He hit it well, Rick. Had some velocity at that front line of Hattiesburg. Weren't able to squeeze it clean, but the Tigers do come up with it in the end. But that was well hit by Edgar Cruz, gave the Tide a chance, but Hattiesburg will have it. A little over the 5-minute mark left in this one, 41-27.
Yeah, I believe the Maroon Tide has 2 timeouts left. Hattiesburg's got 2 as well.
Yep, burn that one coming in between the 3rd and the 4th quarter. Had to use that one, and I can't recall another one, Rick. I believe that was our long timeout used.
You know, I believe we might have used another one on that last drive. Didn't like the formation.
Yep, so maybe we have burned too.
Yep.
Here's that Wildcat type formation, and we'll just keep it himself. We've seen that tonight already with Marshall. And up to the 41-yard line as a Tideman, there he is, rolled over for me at least. And had to wait for Nolan to move a bit there, but he is grabbing at his lower body. Is Nolan Wilson, 4-star for the Tide, Alabama commit.
Yeah, it took him a second to move there, but glad he's moving around.
Yep, made my heart skip a beat. We'll take a timeout here. We'll return. We'll get you an update on Mr. Wilson on the best that we can. Hattiesburg on top of our Maroon Tide, 41-27. There's 4:59 left in this one. We'll take a minute timeout and we'll return here on the campus of Hattiesburg, 6A South State Championship ball game.
Diamond Productions is a premier live production company specializing in audio.
Again, Gulfport did win, Poplarville did lose, and Picayune is in trouble. But Gulfport will play next Saturday between Oxford and Tupelo.
It feels good to buy local. Whether you're supporting your community small businesses, family-owned restaurants, or Farm Bureau Insurance,
See if we can get a
local agents at Farm
update
Bureau
on
Insurance are dedicated to
that
always
game.
helping you protect what's important.
So
Farm
Tupelo
Bureau
is leading
Insurance is helping
21 to
protect your
20
business
with a
and
minute
local
28
agents
left to
in your
go.
community. If you're shopping for car, home, or life insurance in the Poplarville area, call Kate Am.
Nolan Wilson able to leave underneath his own power. That was great news for Nolan and Maroon Tide fans as he was able to walk off under his own power. Hattiesburg leads this one 41 to 27. 4:47 and a clock rolling here. Hattiesburg trying to end the season of our Picayune Maroon Tide in back-to-back years. They're pointing at the play clock. Don't want to snap it till it's probably 5 or less. But they went ahead and snapped it with about 10 on the play clock. As this is Young, Davion Young with a run just straight ahead. Young's been as advertised, a really phenomenal player as Davion Young. And a lot of stretches, Rick, you hate to say carried a team because Ducksworth, as quarterback's been good, but he's come close to that. They've got a ton of weapons, but he is A1 on the old scouting report. If 5 doesn't dress, it goes all
good.
attention to 4 pretty quick.
Charlie Rogers referred to him as the MVP of the team this year, and it's hard to disagree with that.
Ain't no doubt about that. I would say so. Here he is sprinting off the right side, runs over a Tidesman at the 25. He'll stay alive, Slick. And Ellie's cut straight across from the right to the left before going into the end zone to burn a few more seconds before he's going to score. As the Tigers extend this lead to 47 to 27, Rick. At about the 15, ran out a pack of the Tidesmen. We've seen that on tape a few times. We're not the first victim to Mr. Young in that play. One in particular is Terry. We saw him come out of a pack real similar as we await the point after. Gets it to a 20-point advantage, 47-27. Kicks blocked by the Tide, and that's awesome news.
And it is
Nolan
a
Wilson. Not
final
sure that he blocked it, Rick, but he's back in there.
in the
So
7A
really
that
great
Tupelo
news
does win
for
21
Tide that Nolan
to
Wilson
20
was in
over
on that
Oxford.
play. Not that it matters tonight, but we certainly don't need Nolan Wilson banged up.
The defending state champions in
Hattiesburg feeling beyond good about
Tupelo.
themselves at the moment. They punched their ticket basically to the 6A title game in Starkville Friday night. Looked like it was going to be Warren Central. Haven't
They
gotten
have
an updated score. More interested really in that Poplarville Columbia game as our coverage mates were over at that one. Of course, that's one of the first scores we check every Friday night, that Poplarville score. So I'm trying to get you an update on that. Teed up. Columbia won it 20-14 as a final. So Columbia won that one 20-14 over the Poplarville Hornets. Columbia, man, that is some kind of year they put together. Undefeated as they'll compete for the 4A state championship. It's Jamari Hathorn trying to make the return. He's up to the 26-yard line before he's hammered down. So a 20-point spread here, 3:26 left. Tide faithful have hung in pretty good. Even some of the Hattiesburg Tiger fans starting to make their way to the exit on a cold night here in the Hub City. We appreciate you joining the stream tonight. If you've taken it in, we appreciate Donnie Pascal, Diamond Productions, Coast Connect, Coast Electric for their sponsor of the stream here tonight. Jackson Harrelson on the camera, Ricky Whitaker for all that you do for the Talking Ball Y'all Media Group and our Picayune Maroon Tide coverage. We love it. There's just no doubt about that. We love the access that we get to the program. We love being around the players, the coaches, and everything that comes along with it. We appreciate those that have chosen to take in our coverage. Coach Lacey on this near side, Rick, still lobbying for something. Not sure exactly what he's wanting to.
He wanted a flag thrown on the late hit. What was it, a late hit?
On Mitchell finishing off a block.
Finishing up a block.
There's going to be a pitch out and maybe a backwards thrown pass. They're going to say incomplete. Tigers staff isn't going to like this. That's a play they run a lot. Truth be told, they may have got away with one of those just a week ago on the film we saw against Pascagoula. So,
yep.
Not that it matters at all at this point, Rick. 47-27. The score currently. Todd's still out there trying, and so are the Tigers. There's no doubt about that, but this outcome's not a mystery anymore. It's been cold and dark up here all night, Rick, but this is as cold and dark as it's felt.
Yep.
Here's Jordan Hathorn trying to work from left to right. Now he'll break it back, and they will get the flag they've been asking for. It's Mitchell Smith going to get a flag after the fact. I believe they'll ask him to leave, as I think that's his second of the night. From the Mitchell Smith perspective. Crowd here in Hattiesburg serenading Mitchell.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the kind, Rick. I'd be okay. It all goes to zeros. We get on the bus, go back. They do their thing here. The final 2:33 gets a little dicey when the outcome's pretty much spoken for.
So block in the back, not going to be a personal foul.
You're right. But we got to get Mitchell off the field.
Got to get back to the huddle.
Yeah, we got to get him off of there, too. No point letting him hang around at this point. And when I say that, I don't care where he goes and stands. I just don't want something bigger to break out for him or Hattiesburg or anybody involved. Hattiesburg's perspective, you don't want to walk into next week shorthanded because you do something silly at the end of this one. And then from Mitchell's perspective, you're representing the Picayune Maroon Tide and his family and his future. Don't want anything to happen on either side. So both teams kind of huddling here, Rick. Timeout, I believe the officials have told them to get both teams together, kind of extend this one out. We'll go ahead and start our Coast Connect and Coast Electric kind of post-game show and work in the action as it continues here. But we'll go ahead and start putting some wraps on and some bows on some things.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 2013 ball game at the half, Clay, and Picayune comes out. Hattiesburg, Young with a 70-yard touchdown makes it 27-13. Zay Dennis answers with a 12-yard rush to make it 27-20. 33-yard run by Leverett makes it 34-20. And then you had Marshall going from a 21-yard touchdown, and then Young from 37 yards to kind of put things away. But outside of the Zay Dennis 12-yard rush and the Bull with a 5-yard touchdown, it's been punts in between of that, and that's really been the difference. Like we said, what looked like was going to be, Picayune starting to find some things in this Hattiesburg defense. Hattiesburg clamped down, and that was it.
3rd and 10 here as Colt Robertson going to take a shot, one-on-one coverage, and it's going to be picked off at about the 37-yard line. As that is going to be picked off. I believe that was Tarver with the pick.
Hattiesburg will go back
here from the sideline,
as they did last year.
Hattiesburg celebrating the pick.
To the state championship game.
One-on-one
they did
coverage,
lose
a nice
last
play
year.
Made by Tarver, able to make the pick. Hattiesburg leads this one 47-27, 2:23 left. It's going to have to be some good jobs done by these staffs. Neither team in love with one another at the moment, trying to keep this thing
They won
the way it
1924.
should
That
be
is, Hattiesburg just
post-game.
won a state championship, but that's so.
Yeah, Maroon
Hey, it
Tide
counts, but it doesn't count.
chances.
1981
You know, boy, you go back to the second half when we started.
is when
here,
we
you
started
had
this format, and that's when state
first and
championships.
long.
Back then, you didn't play
on and,
the North and the
just picking
South.
First down up. It's kind of the way the second half went for the Maroon Tide.
Yeah, is that the one? It was 1st and 20, and then
Two
the
plays,
out
they got a
route.
first down.
Yep, did that, and there was another play that stands out where they really needed a third. This was earlier. I mean, it was probably first half action where Hattiesburg needed a 3rd and 13, ran about a 20-yard out, picked it up, and then the next play was a touchdown.
You've seen a couple of senior guys putting their arms around each other there. It's Nolan Wilson and trying to see who he had his arm around. Consoling, sad, probably going to be his last snap.
We'll effort to try to get Coach Pennock on and a couple other guests to come on. Unfortunately, you know, with Picayune and Poplarville,
really good to the Maroon Tide, to the brand, to the program that is the Maroon Tide.
did not make it tonight.
And look, the level of success they've had, Rick. I mean, it's not going to
feel Gulfport did
tonight,
in domination.
To go,
I mean, they have dominated the playoffs. I mean, did we see that coming or not? I didn't see it coming as much domination. I'm glad that, as they say, the other shoe didn't drop. You know, it's like, okay, when they're going to play not so good, but they've been playing.
State championship. That's a pretty big deal for this class. Here's Young again, Davion Young. For his sake, man, you pray for him to be healthy. No reason really for him to still be toting it around with a 20-point advantage. He's going to be, I would think, pretty featured in next week's affair. You'd hate for him to be banged up in the closing minutes of this one.
Yeah, credit Hattiesburg, man. I mean, they've came out. You mentioned it. They've coached this team incredibly hard for 4 quarters. I mean, they have not let up at all.
Of course, I would imagine our friend Hunter Dawkins of the HD Experience will come on all the Gulfport games. They've been Gulfport's been over with probably 20 minutes.
Hattiesburg Tigers have been very intense all night.
I don't know. It should be less than 2 minutes in this game.
Good squad. We talked about it this week, Rick. So many spots they can hurt you from. Maybe a bit different in that regard from a year ago. They were balanced a year ago.
But, you know, Xavier Dennis,
playmakers are really tough.
In the coach record book at 2,600 yards coming into this game.
Now in a victory formation.
Ty Keys will not get the rushing record or the rushing touchdown.
We've already kind of gotten into our.
But it is a final there.
Electric post-game show, Pearl River Community College, as that will do it. An exuberant Hattiesburg after the final snap. We're just trying to keep both of these groups kind of squared away from one another, as I think doing a pretty good job. Coach Lacey and Coach Stogner doing that. Getting both of these squads to celebrate, and then the Tide heartbreak, Rick, just gut-wrenching to see the seniors primarily, but all of the young men, man, who poured so much into it.
Yeah, pretty good gamesmanship there. You see, I think it's 94 for Hattiesburg. Goes and takes a knee beside the bull, Macon Burnett, consoling him a little bit. Of course, he comes back just for the start of the playoffs and lit a spark. Really, I think a lot of that turnaround. He's responsible for a lot of that stuff, but. Hate it for these seniors, but Maroon Tide, like I said, 5 years, your worst finish has been a South State title game berth, and that's
Picayune will go to 2-3.
No doubt about that. Ricky Whitaker, a tough group for our Tidesmen. We'll be able to put a better bow on it on our post-game podcast. Any final thoughts from you, Rick?
No, I mean, I think Hattiesburg is going to be a tough draw for whoever wins, whether it be Richland or
Warren Central.
Warren Central. It was just Central. I'm trying to think who it was.
It's been a long night up here in the cold, dark, and that'll do it for us, Rick, for the final time tonight. Hattiesburg takes it over.
All right. So that is a final there. We'll try to get you other finals here in the state. Again, Tupelo defeated Oxford 21-20. To face Gulfport. They have not faced each other. Before, and then again, Picayune just fell to Hattiesburg the second year in a row, and Hattiesburg will go back to the state championship. They lost last year. All right, we're going to add from the Sun Herald, Scott Watkins here. I know you were at the game for Gulfport. I mean, it was a pretty dominating game there, Scott. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very cold. I actually just got back to my vehicle. I would like to mention again, I'm very cold. Fingers very numb. Yeah, that was as dominant as you can get. Gulfport came out 6 straight possessions, 6 touchdowns, and did not really have any trouble on any of those drives. Never really ran into an issue. Didn't really have to go for it on 4th down. Didn't have big 3rd and longs. They just ate yardage up without problem. And Brandon offensively, they looked like honestly how Brandon has looked most of the years. They're just kind of stale a little bit. They've leaned on that defense so much over the past few weeks, and it was not there for them tonight. And so I think it's just a recipe for disaster on that side.
Yes. They haven't scored that many points throughout the season itself. They scored 30 last week when they came back against Oak Grove. Of course, they beat Ocean Springs in round 1. But yeah, it seemed like they were kind of, I say worn out, but I was watching it. And Cooper Crosby, I had him, at least 4 touchdowns, and Nettles ran in 1, and then he passed for 1. And like I say, 6 for 6. They could do nothing wrong there. That is the Admirals. And so they'll go to the state, for the first time since 1982, where they lost to West Point 21-14. But do you plan on going up to the state for that game?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be there in Starkville. It'll be fun. Who is it going to be? I haven't even checked.
It is Tupelo held on 21-20 over Oxford, so they're the defending state champs. That is Tupelo, and yes, they did beat Oxford there. So I mean, like I say, Gulfport always thinking, I always think the worst, but then okay, they beat Northwest by this. Okay, now you got Petal. Are they going to be able to play to that level? They did. And then tonight is like, are they going to turn the ball over, or are they going to do something? And they just, I mean, ever since I guess that Petal game, they really come on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. I mean, man, I don't know what Coach Pennock has done, and his coaching staff, of course. I mean, I don't know if you can pinpoint it when it really turned around. I mean, again, they lost Petal, they haven't lost since.
It was the Petal game. Petal has only itself to blame for what happened to it the second time around. They had a big team meeting after the Petal game, and everybody was made to write down on a piece of paper the reason why they're playing football, and everybody was forced to kind of ground themselves back to where they were, back to their 4th grade, 5th grade, whenever they started playing football. Why do they play football, and where are they trying to go with this? And every week since then, they have read from those papers, and they've talked about why they're here. and I don't know, it's centered them, it's balanced them. They became a lot more mentally clear, I guess. When you look back at those first 3 games, it wasn't a lack of talent that was holding Gulfport back. It was mistake after mistake after mistake. And I guess just having those meetings and going back, asking yourself why you're in here, I guess that helped. And they went out against Gula, blew them out of the water, and it's been like this ever since.
Yes, like I say, did go to Pascagoula, and that's like I say, they did put a whooping on them there, and then like again tonight. But that's, I mean, it's just remarkable what they have done. Say 45 points, pet the last 2 playoff games, and then in fact against Harrison Central they put up 45, and then tonight, of course, with the 40-7 win there with the running clock. Obviously, there at the end, were you able to talk to Coach Pennock, I guess, after the game, get some quotes from him? We're looking to probably get him on the live stream here at some point.
Yeah, I talked to him briefly. I was just kind of curious about what the approach was offensively. He mentioned they checked the film, and Brandon, very, very stout, very good, very talented, but they don't really leave their base defense. So that was something that they pinpointed tonight, and they wanted to move them around and try different things, put them out of their comfort zone, and it worked.
Man, that is so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know the other scores. Unfortunately, Picayune wasn't necessarily close there. At least the final score at halftime, it was 20-14 Hattiesburg, and then it was all Hattiesburg the second half, 47-27. They defeated Picayune. They'll go back to the state championship. They lost last year. But, Zay Dennis, had 55-yard touchdown. He had several touchdowns. I don't know what his final stat was. But, again, after 20-14, and then all of a sudden Hattiesburg just ran away with it, 47-27. Does that surprise you, that big of a score, or did you think – I thought Picayune obviously could win, but I was wrong.
I thought it was a poor matchup. I honestly thought Gula would have been a better matchup for Hattiesburg, just from what Hattiesburg has on the outside of its offense and what Gula has in the defensive backfield. I don't really think that Picayune had enough when it came to just what you're able to put out there in your secondary. I don't think they're really athletic enough or really deep enough in the middle of your defense. They got a great defensive line. We all know that. But once you get stretched out by a Hattiesburg, I don't think they're really deep enough.
Yes. The other game, Columbia and Poplarville. Poplarville led 7-6 at halftime. They, Keys scored obviously that one time, but then it was 7-6 again at halftime. They went for it there late in the game inside their 10-yard line. They used their timeouts left. They actually had a first down inside the 5, and they just couldn't punch it in. It was 14-13. I'm sorry, 14-12 Poplarville. And then Columbia got it with just over 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes left, and ran it in on a long touchdown run to make it 20-14. And then Poplarville had the ball, and they didn't have any timeouts. And of course, they're not necessarily a throwing team, and they were all on Keys, and they were kind of tired there at the end. And so Poplarville doesn't get to defend their state championship and fall 20-14. I mean, the score obviously was there, and they did have the lead. But I mean, did that surprise you? And I know Columbia is now 14-0. So I mean, and they beat Pasco-Jam pretty handily.
Yeah, it's closer. Yeah, that's closer than I thought it might be. I mean, Poplarville lost by 3 scores the first time around. Yeah, I think Poplarville sounds like they played a pretty good game. I can't help but laugh about how it ends. I mean, you go back to the preseason, and Jay Beach says, we're going to run the ball or we're going to die. And they died.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there. Of course, he was on our live stream on Wednesday, also with Coach Stogner. And yeah, they unfortunately didn't make it back. And that's what, again, not a passing team, and they just couldn't make it. I know Keys can run it for that long, but not, in that situation, he was tired there. So I'll have to update the record books, as both of them had great seasons. So But before the season started, when we were there at media day interviewing the coaches, I mean, you figure it'd be Ocean Springs. Gulfport is this year. Gulfport, it's third year there, Coach Pinnock. And I mean, what did you think before the season started? Do you think Gulfport was going to go this far as they are now going to state?
No, I sure didn't think so. I didn't think that. I've been here long enough to know that I've got to have it shown to me. When you look at this, the highest level, the highest classification, 7A, because year after year, I mean, 2 years ago they got swept in the first round, and this year you think that this is the strongest that the coast class has been relative to Region 3, and they go 1-3 first round. So I have to have it shown to me. I thought Ocean Springs would win the region only because it had won 3-4 times in a row, and I gotta have something to see. I gotta say, hey, is Gopher going to take that next step? And coming out of the gates, it did not look like they were going to take that next step, but they figured it out.
Yeah, like I said, that first game where they really woulda, coulda, shoulda beat Picayune if it wasn't for Nettles throwing that interception inside the 5-yard line. They were in field goal range to kick it, a potentially game-winning field goal. But it's a non-region game, and they didn't get it. So that's how it goes there. But, yeah, I've reached out to Coach Pinnock, and hopefully he could join here and whenever he can after, of course, celebrating and, finally realizing, hey, you're going to state, even though the season's not over, let's go actually up there and go and win it. Right now, you would think they can, they're playing. I don't know if Tupelo can beat them, but we shall see. But I certainly appreciate you joining us. I know you. What do you got tomorrow? Where are you going? USM.
Yep, Southern
Troy.
Miss. The Sunbelt West Championship. It'll be fun
At USM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you'll be there. What time is the kickoff?
2:30 p.m.
Oh. Okay, I thought it was maybe like today's bowl, egg bowl, 11 a.m. kickoff. God. So, what you got opinion on Lane Kiffin?
Everybody asks me that every time I talk to anybody.
Yeah, I don't. No, I mean, I don't care. I'm not an Ole Miss fan. I like the state schools to win, but I'm not a particular state school. Does he go? I mean, it's a lot of money. Expectations a lot higher, regardless if he goes to LSU or Florida. So
the last week, I've felt like it's going to be LSU. It's not going to be Florida at all. I'm at like 0% with Florida, maybe 30% Ole Miss, 70% LSU. That's my guess. That's my thinking.
Yeah. So, and now they get the big win today, and they looking for a national championship. They may get the bye, from what I hear. I'm not for sure in the first round. I guess to see how it goes. As I'm looking here now in Texas, what do they have? 8:56 left to go. Texas is 20-17 over Texas A&M. So I know they needed like Texas A&M to lose and somebody else to get into like the SEC championship. I'm not sure on what needs to happen there. So, but I appreciate you joining us tonight. And I don't know. Maybe we'll do another live stream, or I might be up there next week on Saturday and do a live stream from Gulfport State Championship after game, post game. So,
absolutely. Oh, I meant to ask you, when's the last time a team from the highest class just played in the game, in the state champ game?
I want to say I would have to go back. I want to say it goes all the way back. I looked it up before. I want to say it was Moss Point that they were in the highest class available. Which was like 5A.
That was the last time a team won, right? Or did they lose that game?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they. I would have to look it up for sure. But I remember I looked it up because I said, when was the last time? And the highest class.
That's it. Moss Point was the last one, and that was like what, 2002 or something? 2000 maybe.
I mean, they were. Let me see, 2000 and 2001 they lost the start. 2000 they won that state championship, and then 2001 they lost. I would have to look and see real quick here. 2020 it was showing class 20. It was a 4A, class 4A they were in. Let me see it. Well, I'm looking at 2020. It was what did I say? 2000. I'm 20 years off. In 2001, it was 5A that they lost to Starkville, and so that's when I think that was the highest class.
Yeah, it was at the time.
It was. So yeah, so I think that's when, because I went back and tried to look last year or so and try to look and see when the highest class. So yeah, it's been a little bit. I know Ocean Springs, went to of course South Ocean Springs went. It's been a while since they went to but they weren't the highest class. I want to say, were they? They went to one finals. Ocean Springs went to 2004. That's when they lost. That's when they lost to South Panola 39-21. And that was 2004. That was 5A in 2004. So as far as winning, that's what I said. I think that was the highest class. When did they go to 6A?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, let me see if this shows it here. This goes all the way back. 5A, 6A. They're showing 2009 and went to 6A. So the last team to win in the highest class, I just said it was Moss Point, and I'm looking at it. It says Moss Point 5A. That was the highest in 2000. The last highest team to win in the highest class, which was 5A. And then I just said Ocean Springs. That was 5A. So the last time they played in it was Ocean Springs, was 2004, and they lost. So I guess I got to write that down. So I don't have to look it up again because that is the highest class. And then I said 6A went to 2009, and we didn't have anybody in 6A go. We had Pascagoula in 5A, but we didn't have. Let me see, 6A. Nope. 2015. Nope. And 7A should have came along in. See, this site don't even. 2020. No, it came. This site don't even have 7A listed until 2024, and we've had 7A before that. So, but anyway, if you wanted to stay on, or if you were getting off, I'm gonna bring Hunter Dawkins on.
Yeah, I gotta hop off of here and
okay.
Story.
Yeah, I figured you had to do that. So I appreciate you joining us, and hope to see you there next week then at the state championship for Gulfport to finish it off, get the golden football. That would be awesome. Milner Stadium, last game there, and exciting.
Did you like my my factoid about the first Milner Stadium game?
No, what was that? I like I like odd stats. What was it?
The very first game played at Milner Stadium was Gulfport versus Brandon in 1948.
Dang.
Yeah,
that is the last game, and man.
Yeah, that first time, and Gulfport won 38-0, so it went a lot like this one.
But yes, that is certainly that. I like those odd stats again. That is certainly one of them. That is crazy. The first game and then the last game. So,
yep.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Write it down.
All right. Thank you. All right, Scott. All right, Hunter Dawkins, Gazebo Gazette, Gulfport Radio, G96.7. Have to be feeling good. Hunter, how you doing?
I'm telling you what, it was, but Matt, I'll tell you this. I'm not really shocked, and nor was I really surprised. Now, of course, there's always things that happen in games. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But to say that I was really shocked or surprised, despite their history, despite the pattern, I just wasn't really, because I saw a different component of this team. And I told everybody, and Coach Pinnock told me this the start of the year. He said, this team is different. this team they've got it. And, it definitely makes a difference. And, he and I were talking about a lot of his teams that he and I came across each other in Pass Christian and Ocean Springs, and how he thought his 2022 team in Ocean Springs had a lot of the same components. But as you know, it's all about luck, who you get matched up with, and about components. And the fact they played 3 home games is a big deal. I mean, you don't always get to play. You don't always get to play home games like that. And so, it was. I was definitely impressed with the way things went for Gulfport this year.
Yes, that's what me and Scott were just talking about. I mean, like I said, I was waiting for I don't want to say the real Gulfport Admirals. Unfortunately, the way the history is, that's the way it is. I mean, will the real Gulfport Admirals show up? And no, they're not showing up. They are like I say, not just winning. Again, 45 points in the last 3 games, and they put up 40 tonight. A running clock, and the running clock in each playoff game. Correct? I mean,
and playing against really solid defenses the last 2 weeks. I mean, Brandon got known better than anybody for their defense, and it was definitely an interesting component. That they could take it, go right at them, and they weren't really taken down. They controlled the trenches, just like I've told everybody throughout the year. This team was different. Starting after the Laurel game, they really went down to Pascagoula and really just started controlling the game. And you had a couple players, that really had to learn how to manage some games, like Parker Nettles, and a couple receivers, Camden Morgan, Javice Hales, had to learn how to be able to pull the ball in a little bit better. Defensively, you need to be able to tackle a little bit better and guard a little bit better. But they slowly did that. But the most important thing was they started controlling the trenches every single game, with an exception towards the end of the Iberville game. But that was just a little minor step. And, it was an opponent. It was a rivalry. But that was a big factor that I think that once they were able to turn that over, and once they got past that first playoff game, I think it was definitely a different team.
Oh yes, it was. It was like I say, with Crosby, scoring those 3 touchdowns. Nettles ran in a touchdown, and they threw, the other pass to Gwynn, Cooper Gwynn, the tight end. I mean, 6 for 6, 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
That's right.
I mean, that's just.
Cooper scored 4 touchdowns, and Parker ran one in, threw one in. It was good. And the thing about the Parker play with the Gwynn catch, that play was designed to be a Cooper Crosby dive, and that was a pullback, a power pullback, tosses it right over the middle to Gwynn, and that was it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I was watching it there. That it did look like I said, he was going into the line, and then say all of a sudden, he pulled it out and tossed it over. It's like Tim Tebow, not somewhat like it, where he stopped and jumped over, put it over the line. So
there were situational plays throughout the game. There was the reverse flea flicker, the a couple of bootleg passes across there was a couple deceiving plays, and you can't really look past those things. That's what helps Gulfport, is that they've got this straight running game, but they can run some deceitful plays because of that running game, and because of that ground and pound. That's what I like to call it, ground and pound. And because they don't get away from that, it kind of keeps them on the rail. It keeps opponents on the rail. And I certainly think that and applaud Coach Pennick for being able to do that.
Yeah, his third season there, and went one and done the previous 2 seasons. And I did message him and trying to effort him to see if he can come on. Of course,
it's gonna be a little bit because they're still down the field right now. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's the last game at Milner, and so it's and like Scott just said, which I didn't know. He said he went back and looked at the first game at Milner Stadium was against Brandon. I didn't dig that deep. So, but to have that to say, man, your first game and your last game.
Well, the last time they played in the South State Championship in '99, they beat Brandon at home to get to the South State Championship where they played Provine. They lost to Provine in the South State, but that was the last year. That was the last time they beat Brandon, and it was the last time they went to the South State Championship game.
Yes. Yeah. Let me answer. I'm seeing some of these questions on the side here. Did Brookhaven win? Yes, Brookhaven did beat Laurel. He did win there. In fact, I have the whole scoreboard from 1A up to 7A. So I can run over them.
I kind of lost track of the games once I got to be packing up, and we got obviously with the shortage of the clock, we got done at 9:15 or so. So it was literally like we did post game, and then that was it. So.
Yeah, that was quick. But I just posted the scores for the people on the Facebook page, and in 1A you had Simmons, who's over Taylorsville, Calhoun City 36-14 over Biggersville. 2A had Heidelberg, defending champs, 46-14 over Mize. East Webster over Kemper County. 3A Riley over Seminary. Noxubee over Winona in 3A. 4A, of course, Poplarville, if you haven't known, Hunter, did lose 20-14 at Columbia. So Poplarville did lose there. Keys did score. They were out of timeouts. They had a late lead inside the 10-yard line. They couldn't punch it in, leading 14-12. And Columbia was able to score from like 40-something yards out. And it was about 2 minutes left, or just under 2 minutes. And Poplarville didn't have any timeouts, and they're not a throwing team, and Keys, you wouldn't think, is gassed. I mean, they're trying to, and they give it to another running back. Regardless, Poplarville wasn't able to defend their title. They did lose 20-14. Kosciuszko, if I say it right, Kosciuszko, who I predicted would beat.
Kosciuszko. Yep.
Kosciuszko. Thank you. I did predict all games. I haven't seen what I won, but I know I picked them to win. They beat Louisville, who of course Poplarville played last year, and Louisville, that was an upset, I believe, in mine. I just saw the stats and had the feeling, and they did win 17-7. 5A, Laurel does fall to Brookhaven 31-6. West Point, the defending champs, does beat Holmes 20-6. And 6A, Warren Central defeats Ridgeland, and then Picayune falls to Hattiesburg, after just trailing there at halftime, 20-14 Hattiesburg, and then it ended up being 47-27. Hattiesburg takes out Picayune. They'll go back to the state championship game once again, as they did last year. They did lose last year, but Hattiesburg's going back after defeating Picayune, and they will play Warren Central, who beat Ridgeland. And then in 7A, you already know, Gulfport going to the state championship, defeating Brandon 40-7, and they will face the defending state champion. They have never played Tupelo, 21-20. Tupelo holds off Knox Kippen from Oxford, the quarterback, 21-20, for them to go to the state championship.
Matt, let me ask you a question, Matt, and I haven't kept up with it. But is Tupelo they've been undefeated since when? Because I don't think they lost a game last year either. Maybe I'm
They lost
wrong.
this year. They lost this year. Tupelo is not undefeated.
Okay.
I'm fixing to look for you, but no,
Okay.
they lost to West. They lost to West Point. Speaking of defending champions, West Point won.
That's right.
And they lost 28-21. But it was 12-1. Now they're 13-1. That is Tupelo. And again,
Okay.
they haven't played. They're on a what is it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game winning streak.
Okay, but they didn't
Tupelo.
lose last year, did they?
And I'm getting a feedback from Coach Pinnock. He said he's fixing to try to be getting on.
Okay.
Last year, they did not lose 14-0, and they defeated Brandon, who Gulfport displayed 28-16. They did not lose.
Yeah, I remember them beating Brandon in the state championship game, but I just don't remember them losing this year. But of course, I didn't really follow any North State teams for a while. So
Yes. No, that's totally understand that. So, like I said, he'll be joining us here momentarily, again, as he should be celebrating. And I guess that's one that has coach. Well, we'll ask him. Has he been to a state championship game himself?
Yeah.
Brandon?
Well, not in the South. He was the offensive coordinator at Clinton back. I don't remember.
Oh, and Cam Akers.
Yes, that is correct. He coached Cam Akers. He and Coach Bramlett coached together at Clinton. I believe that was he was offensive coordinator at Clinton back when they won the state championship. I can't remember what you could ask him that, but yeah, he had been to a state championship. I mean, he won a state championship game.
Yeah, I know Anthony was Anthony Shoulders, assuming that Anthony from Pass Christian. So the running back. We were talking earlier with Scott about the last time that the highest class went to state, and we were, I know Ocean Springs went there in 2004 when it was 5A, and then Moss Point was the last team to win it at the highest class, which was 5A back then. But I don't know if that's what Anthony was posting up some numbers. Yes, I called that game when George County lost to South Panola there, Anthony.
Yeah.
And again, we're having.
I know nobody down on the coast, or at least in these 3 counties. I mean, I know there's 6 counties, obviously, but on at least in the bottom 3 counties, I don't remember in 7A there being one as of recent. So.
Oh no, not in 7A. 7A just
or even 6A. I don't really remember one being at the time of 6A. So.
Well, 6A. See, on the site that we use doesn't have their records. They're showing 2000 and they're saying 2009 was that's when our first C6A. In 2009, and looking from 2009 to above, there isn't a team.
Which I believe 6A was that they created 6A in 2008 or 2009. So
2009.
Yeah, you're probably right. So.
Well, I'm looking at it as a first, but then again, I don't know when they had 7A exactly because this website doesn't show.
Specify, yeah.
I'm looking. I think 7A. I want to say maybe it's not that long ago.
No, it had to be 7A. Was like right before either was there right before or right after the pandemic. I can't remember the timeline of that, but it wasn't long before the pandemic if it was. So.
Yeah, I think if Anthony said if that's what he just put 2018. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. You're confirming that it is 2018. But there hasn't been, like say, since Moss Point in 2000 that has won on the highest classification, which was 5A back then. So actually, to win on the highest class is Moss Point, back when again there was 5A teams, classes, 5A classes.
And I remember the quarterback of Moss Point then too as well. Your boy old Demarius Bilbo. Yep. So
I wasn't into, I started 2005 calling on the radio for high school, and then the page at 2010. So as far as the players, I heard of the name, and I used to watch Moss Point. They used to put them on TV on Saturday mornings, like the replay of it. So I mean, Moss Point was, that's why they have the most state championships, right there at Picayune. But yes, 2000. I'm looking at it here, and then they lost in 2001. So again, that is the last time that they have played. So again, he should be coming on. Anthony, you got to. I don't understand when you say 2016, then you put no, like they're no what? 2016 was when they had 6A. We'll have to look it up more in depth there. But like I said, Coach Pennock should be joining us. Obviously celebrating the last game at Milner, and in convincing fashion with that 40-7 win over Brandon. I don't know if Brandon, 3 road games, just like the road teams tonight, Poplarville, Picayune, they couldn't get it done. It's to win on the road. Not saying you can't do it, obviously, but it's a little bit, especially when you play 3 games. Picayune went to the state championship where they played 3 games at home. It is a difference, but again, I'm not mistaken. They had a running clock against Northwest, did they not? I mean, it was 45-7.
Yep.
So
they scored 45 in their first 2 playoff games. They both scored 45.
45. So
both running clock.
Yeah, you can look that one up. I know I'm a stat man, but in my head would be I don't think there's no way to look it up if a team has. I'm sure it has had a running clock in their
running clock.
Yeah. In their 3 playoff games. I know in the coast.
Me calling all the Gulfport games, I can tell you, man, every Gulfport playoff game so far has had a running clock this year. So
yeah, the 3 of them, yes, they most definitely have had one. Now, has a team ever done that in the state? Had 3 playoff games with a running clock? I know you don't know that. I'm just thinking out loud as a stat person, and there's no way to find out. I can again somewhat guarantee you that there hasn't been a coast team, because we haven't had a coast team go to state as far as in the 7A class. Now, Picayune, Poplarville, they were going, but they didn't have running. I'm pretty sure they didn't have running clocks. So, but yes, that was, again, is disappointing. I know it's a great season for him, for Coach Stogner and all the 14 teams that started this playoff hunt, and slowly,
I'm surprised about Poplarville because they were ahead. I mean, I'm not surprised that Columbia won, but they were ahead for most of the game from what I
was watching it.
Score. Okay.
Yeah, it was 7-6 at halftime, and then they were leading 14-6, and then it was 14-12, and then, like I say, Columbia didn't score till about 2 minutes left in the game to take a 20-14 lead. So yes, they led the majority of that game. Again, a Columbia team that they beat them earlier in the year. That is, Columbia beat Poplarville, and then they took out the hot Pass Christian team pretty easily. That is Columbia, at home again at home, so it's an advantage. So, but we're gonna bring on the South State champions, Coach Pennock there. Congratulations, Coach, first of all. And I mean, you just got to be feeling you're on cloud 9. I mean, what a feeling, a dominating performance, yet another running clock.
How about that? I mean, yeah, and I tell you what, and I mean, they're not as easy as they look. Brandon is really, really good on defense. They certainly look the part. They have tons of length and size, speed, all that on defense. I mean, I thought our guys on offense played flawlessly. And then on defense, I mean, we've been playing really, really well on defense for a long time. And, we felt like as long as we couldn't let them get their running game going, they weren't going to do anything on us through the air. And we did a great job, kind of owning the line of scrimmage, man. And so got on that thing pretty quick.
It was. I mean, 6 for 6, six drives, 6 touchdowns. Cooper 3 touchdowns. Nettles ran one in. Then, as Hunter was saying, which I was watching the game, it looked like he was going to run the ball, and then he threw it, to the tight end. Oh, what happened? Did we lose you, Coach? We might have lost. And Ike said 7A started in 2022, so that might be about right. We'll get him back on. But yeah, Ike. So 2022. That's about. I know it hasn't started that long ago, and that was 7A. So hopefully we'll get Coach Pennock back on here. Again, this is a dominant performance. Like I say, Brandon has struggled to put points up on the board all year. I mean, they did put up 30 in the overtime win against Oak Grove. They beat Ocean Springs. What was it? I think 13-10 it was. So, I mean, they haven't put up a lot of points. That is Brandon. And once they got down, again, 21-28-0. Talking to Jake Wimberly the other night on the Wednesday night Thanksgiving special, that's what he said. I mean, we both agreed if Brandon got down by 21, 28 points, it'd be hard for him to come back. I'm trying to see if Coach Pennock can come on. Hunter, you're obviously going to USM tomorrow. You're not actually going up there tonight to stay. They're playing late.
I am. That is correct. I'm driving there right now to Hattiesburg. Yeah. No, it's.
So I just say just sleep in, and you got stuff to do because you run a newspaper. So I mean,
that's
you got
right.
stories.
I already delivered this morning. That was a good thing because it was obviously it got the paper at least before Thanksgiving break, and then I was able to deliver this morning and pick up some checks and all and. Doing the newspaper business, that's the way it goes. But then, I had to cover a little bit of the Egg Bowl. That was a little interesting, and then get packed up and ready to go.
All right, we're gonna bring Coach Pennock back.
Sorry, man. Every time when I get on, people call me and the phone just blows up.
Oh well, yeah. I would expect people would call you and text you like I did, but yes, again, with. Talking about the Crosby running and Nettles running in, and then the pass there to Cooper Gwynn, and Hunter was saying, like say, it was supposed to be a run play, but I mean Nettles, I guess, had the option, and it certainly looked like it. He just
it's called that way. It's a pop pass. It's called that way. We're selling run as hard as we possibly can. He inserts, and I mean you've seen it on Saturday before, and. I mean, we've scored on it now about I think 3 or 4 times. I think.
Man, that was
definitely
you guys.
I mean, we hit on a bunch of trick plays. We came out early on the first drive, and I think we threw probably if it was a 7 or 8 play drive, we threw the ball on every one but one of them. And then on the next series, we came down and basically ran the ball every play, and. Just is all working, man. Obviously Parker played out of his mind. He played great. And Cooper Crosby does what he does. Our receivers did a great job. Offensive line, on the line of scrimmage against a really good defensive line. And so we had a couple of gadgets that we hit again. If anybody's seen us in the last several weeks, we always kind of pull a few out. Those all hit. And so it was just a good night for the Admirals.
Yeah, of course we had Scott on here, Walker Sun Herald, just a little bit ago, and he was saying, as far as, of course, the last game at Milner against Brandon, he said the first game that they played in 1948 or something was against Brandon, and of course 2019, the last South State that you guys played was against Brandon. So I guess Brandon is the key part here, as Coach Pennock is getting a lot more calls, probably getting some FaceTime calls as expected, as we have lost him again. Like I say, you'd expect, because I mean it's been since 1982 that Gulfport has played in the state championship, and they did lose to West Point 21-14. So to make it back there next Saturday is going to be something special, obviously for coach football to to make it there, and not just to make it there. They're going there to win. They are playing absolutely on fire. Just to confirm the time, it is 7:00 next Saturday. They have at 12:00, 3:30, and then 7:00 is 7A next Saturday night at Davis Wade Stadium at Mississippi State, who lost today. Their season is over with as Ole Miss takes them out there. And then Lane Kiffin went to watch his son Knox lose to Tupelo, who will now play Gulfport in the state championship game. So, but that again, hopefully we'll get them back on. We were just getting started in the interview, but Hunter, yeah, again, you were, and you were saying that you were going up there right now. Even though it's a 2-something start, like I say, you have stories to write, and I mean, you do a lot. I mean, you were at South Alabama last week when USM was there, and then now tomorrow. So what's tomorrow? It's for the championship for USM, correct?
It's for the Sun Belt Western Division Championship. You have Troy playing at Southern, and it starts at 2:30, and the winner will be the team that plays in Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is right about 45 minutes west of Washington, D.C., against James Madison, and that will be the end result for Southern Miss, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. Did you plan on going to that game?
I do not, because I plan on going to the state championship game in Starkville, because it's the same day. So.
Oh, that's what I was fixing to ask you. It has to be the same day.
Yep, exactly. It's a little bit earlier, but I don't really plan on making flights from DC to Starkville because I don't have any private jets or anything like that. So I'm a newspaper man, and I make some decent money, but I don't make that kind of money. So.
Yes. And that was Coach Pennock. Again, he was getting calls, and he got a good call there. I'm not necessarily going to say you can imagine all the calls that he's getting, and some from other coaches and stuff. I mean, again, to make it to a state championship game, again, last year, Gaucher, Coach High there at the Gators, and Coach Beach with Poplarville made it last year. And again, I'll list all the teams that have made it.
And Matt, I'll tell you this. I mean, there is me being a former offensive line coach, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of great head football coaches, not only in Mississippi, but in other places that you don't get lucky enough to get to the state championship game. You get far in the playoffs, but you just can't get, because of your matchups, because of the places that you play, things just don't always work out in your favor. I mean, there are teams that don't play 3 straight home games, and that's something that works in your favor, obviously. But it doesn't mean you're not a good football coach because you don't get to a state championship game. So.
Oh, correct. I mean, like I say, there was out of all these teams, and then like I say, there's only the 14 teams that are going there. One from the north, one from the south, and 7 teams will hoist the golden football. So all the teams will have won the North Championship or the South State Championship. And I know we kind of blur that up and saying, oh, you lost. Like, again, Poplarville lost 4 state championship games. They won a state championship, so they are state champions, but all those, they're 5 South State champions in that run. So I know it's kind of, again, it gets overlooked going to the state championship game and losing, but hey, you had to, I mean, it takes, as Coach Pennock has said plenty of times before, it does take some luck, and all the coaches say this, it does take a little bit of luck in there. Gulfport games hasn't been luck. They've been, again, total dominance in that, and they will again play at 7:00. It will be on TV for those who cannot make it, Mississippi State. And I did post the TV. It's on Bounce 13.1 down here, but I posted all the statewide radio TV stations that will have it and they will show the games on TV. It'll start Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday with 3 of them, and 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday. So So I don't think Coach Pennick may or may not make it back because he's obviously again getting calls and texts, and his phone is getting knocked off the line. But we had a couple other questions for him again. First time. Go ahead.
And hopefully too, we'll see him on Sunday. He gave me a commitment that he'll be on the HT experience on Sunday, and then we'll. If you got any questions that you want me to ask him, I'll definitely bring that up.
Don't tell me we lost you, Hunter. And I guess,
got me.
Okay, now I do. Yeah, you went to all of a sudden you went somewhere, but now you're there. Now you're there.
I'm in the country up here, as you know, getting up to Hattiesburg. But that being said, no, I was telling you that commitment on Sunday HT. If you got, to get in touch with him, at least talking about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a special guest on that we've never had on before that is more statewide. He's not a coach. He's I don't know if he's still currently necessarily a news reporter, but but he has a podcast, and trying to see if he can join us. Oh, in fact, hear him on there, so we will certainly bring him on. And there's Blake. I know. Welcome on, Blake. Again, is it Levine? Is that how we pronounce your last name, Blake?
Man, you got it right. And the fact that you got it right makes me even happier that I'm on your show.
Yes, the first time we got Hunter Dawkins here on the show. He's with the Gazebo Gazette. And, of course, Blake Levine, he's all over the place. He got the podcast. What was it called? The
Magnolia Shine podcast. Plus, I'm just Blake Levine sports reporter, which I don't know why I have reporter. I'm more of Blake Levine commentator.
Yes. You do all the shorts, and of course we share it at Coast Football. Anytime there's a Coast Football mention there or any kind of situation statewide, that's another show with that coach pushing that player out of bounds, or a team losing on purpose. To get that MIAS is a totally different story. Anyways, did you make it to any games tonight? And where you are physically, as far as you're in the Jackson area?
Okay, so actually, I went home. I'm actually in California this week, so just doing everything on the phone this week. But I'll tell you what, another great night of football. I thought we were going to have a couple big upsets. A lot of favorites won tonight, but man, were they tested.
Yes, they were. You see, Oxford, of course, just falling to Tupelo to defend the champions, 21-20. And I say a big surprise. I know I went ahead and picked all the games. I know you do. I don't do it every week statewide, but I said I'll do it. And I did pick Louisville to lose, and they lost 17-7. Did that surprise you?
No, I picked Kosciuszko as well. I actually felt like Kosciuszko, kind of just didn't play their A game the first time. And people don't realize the type of speed that they have. And I don't know if people have seen the quarterback. They have a quarterback named Caden Wade. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's arguably, him and Hall and Oak Grove, maybe the two best quarterbacks in all of high school football next season in Mississippi. People have to see this kid from Kosciuszko, this Caden Wade. He's a Division I quarterback. He's all about it.
Man, that is. So that's pretty good there. Again, that's the 4A. What about as far as dealing with the coast teams? Of course, speaking of the 4A, the defending 4A state champions, which they won't be able to defend with Ty Keys, they ended up losing to Columbia 20-14. And Columbia, of course, undefeated, and they took out Pasquishan, who was a hot team last week, and then now they scored late and held off Poplarville to win that game. I guess it couldn't surprise you. I know Poplarville's Poplarville.
Yeah, do you have the final stats on what Ty Keys ran for and the carries he had?
No, I do not.
Because
I don't
because
have
it's funny, they contained him for a little bit, and I think he hit one in the middle of the game, but I might be wrong. I actually think he still had a solid game, but they just never let him hit a home run or a couple home runs. And for them, that's kind of what they tried to do. Although Poplar's defense stepping up and taking down, taking a team and cutting their points in half. I mean, Columbia's been averaging 40 points a game this year. They held them to 20. You got to give Poplarville a lot of credit just in that sense.
Yes, most definitely there. We'll go to the other coast team in Picayune. Coach Stogner, it's their 5th straight South State game. They played Hattiesburg at home last year. They lost to them then. Tonight, it was a 20-14 Hattiesburg halftime lead until it wasn't when Hattiesburg took over and won the game 47-27. Of course, you have Zay Dennis, who's just a junior, had a couple great long runs. And I mean, now Hattiesburg with the new head coach and graduated their top quarterback, and Tristan Keys, he's not playing, injury or so. He played a couple games this year. Did that surprise you there as far as, I guess, that 47-27 score kind of a little bit surprised me?
I'm surprised by how much they won, not that they won. But I'll tell you what, this would be really interesting. If Picayune had played Hattiesburg, let's say game 3 of the season, Picayune's winning that game. Hattiesburg is as hot of a football team of any level in the whole state. I could argue they are the hottest team in the state. Even West Point was in a grind with Holmes County tonight. They won 20-6 by 2 scores, but yet who's held West Point to 20 points in the last, 2 months since early in the season? So for Hattiesburg, I mean, Hattiesburg's been putting up 40s, 50 points a game. They put up 40 against Terry. They put up 40 against West Jones. They put up 40 in every round of the playoffs, I believe. And here they are. I mean, even Pascagoula, who, had been playing really well, Hattiesburg comes out there and scores a gazillion points. It's really impressive with what they've been able to do. They're as hot as anybody.
It is. And then the final coast team, which is in the 7A, they finally did it. We just had Coach Pennock on for a little bit for all the calls he was getting from Gulfport, but yet a 40-7 win. They went 6 for 6 drives, 6 touchdowns, and Hunter Dawkins, who's on here, he calls their games on the radio. But I mean, Gulfport, all 3. I don't know. I can't look up the stat or won't ever find out. But 3 playoff games, 3 running clocks. Northwest Rankin, Petal, and now Brandon. Gulfport will take on Tupelo, who I haven't seen Tupelo this year. I mean, how do you think about that game and that outcome tonight against Brandon?
Okay, so that's a 2-part question. Let me start with the first one. I can't believe they've running clocked 3 straight opponents. That's fantastic. That's an unbelievable stat. And look, I've picked them in every single round, right? I picked Gulfport when the playoffs started to make the finals, and here they are. I mean, this is the best team Gulfport in history, right? I mean, at least since the current playoff format, right? Since 1980. Yeah. You would agree this is the best Gulfport team in the history of the school?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Right. So, I mean, right. So win or lose, all those kids, all those coaches should hang their head high because this is a historic team for the school. It's the best they've ever had. The second part of that question, when you're talking about Tupelo, they're not going to run and clock Tupelo. And this is going to be the best team they've played all year. And where they're able to run the ball on some of these other teams, this is the best run defense they're going to play all year. Nettles, their quarterback, is going to really have to step up in the state championship, and he's going to have to make some big-time throws because Tupelo is going to stop the run. And the only way Oxford scored tonight was Knox Kiffin had thrown 3 touchdown passes, and Tupelo had kind of, messed up in their own area. But you're going to have to throw against Tupelo to beat them. So that will be an interesting matchup with the way that, Gulfport plays and Crosby as their running back. That may be a game Crosby's going to have to catch a few more balls than take a couple handoffs.
Yeah. Hunter, do you have a question for Blake? I know, he was just talking about Tupelo, in Gulfport matchup.
Well, Blake, the important thing that what I've noticed about Gulfport that I've never seen them do in my lifetime. And of course, I'm pretty much close to the creation of the MHSAA classifications, that they have never controlled the trenches like they have this year. And I think that has set the tone for every game since Pascagoula, because the first 3 games, it was a little bit off, for them, at least offensively and defensively. They were kind of getting meshed in their own, where they lost to Picayune by a field goal. They ended up winning a game. Then they lost to Petal by a kind of botched kick at the last minute, but they always controlled the line of scrimmage, at least on both sides of the ball. And then they started doing that from there on out. And I really think that that's what and I'm wondering, of what Tupelo has, because I know this is, as you've said, and as I've heard before, this is a great defensive unit. This is a great line and everything as such. But, I think this is going to be the ultimate matchup from around the trenches all the way. I don't know what you think about that question. So.
Yeah, for sure. Because, look, you're absolutely right. Gulfport, I guess, historically has not been known for toughness in their football team. And I don't mean that in a shot, right? But they're a little more finesse over the years. This is a tough football team. You are 100% correct. Their offensive defensive line, their linebackers especially, too, are super physical. They hit. They do all the things that you want. And you know what? That's why you got the coach from Ocean Springs, right? And you just had him on the show, and you took him from a rival. And it's great. It's exactly what you hired Blake for. I mean, anytime you're named Blake, you're physical. But here's where they're going to run into an issue, if they run into an issue, right? Because if this physical play and they punch Tupelo in the mouth, well, yeah, they're going to be winning a state championship here. But we're talking about a defensive line that has 3 Division I players on it for Tupelo. Sure. They have Jaraylen McCoy, who's going to Florida. They have a linebacker who's only a sophomore, but he's going to be a running back when Bobo and Hill are gone. That's really good. They have 2 corners going to Ole Miss. I mean, this is going to be the most skilled and physical team that they've played. But if you've noticed, West Point beat Tupelo this year. Oxford lost by a 1 score twice. There's been some teams that have been able to play with them physically up front, so it's not like it can't be done. But you're going to have to start early because, Brandon fell into that issue where last year and they got blown out because they kind of let go of it early and Tupelo, started running the ball on them. But again, I think Gulfport could 100% win the game.
Yeah, sure. And that's another thing is that do you think offensively Tupelo has, I mean, in my opinion, and of course I haven't been north of Jackson to see a team play this year, but in my opinion, Gulfport down south has the best front 7 of any team in the south part of Mississippi. And can Tupelo have the offense? Do they have players on offense that can take advantage of a team like Gulfport who's going to come after you? Open field tackle, excellent.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tupelo really doesn't pass the ball at all.
Okay.
So they're just going to run the ball over and over again. It's going to be Kylan Bobo. It's going to be Jalen Hill, J.J. Hill. And so they're going to try to lean on their offensive line. So like you said, it's going to be a matchup of power versus power. It's going to be the same, style of play against each other. And, I'll tell you what, Gulfport knows what's coming. It's going to be incumbent on them to hold their assignments and match that physicality. Nobody is surprised when Tupelo shows up in what they run. It is very basic. It is power football. So it's going to be power versus power.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, and they have Mr. 7A, correct?
Back to back 7A, right?
Man, that is.
Here we go. Here's the one. They have 17 Division I players that have offers or interest.
Man, yeah. And Cooper, the running back, I don't know, Hunter, he was supposed to tell you is I think I heard he was committing to Auburn, or
he did.
Or he's not.
He sort of mentioned that he would be officially. Now that doesn't mean he didn't tell me, but he said officially he'll be making the announcement sometime in the first week of December. So.
Okay. So,
but I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. So did you see the? Go ahead.
No, I don't mean to keep you at the heart of Bay and a loss, but I'm just telling you like it is, because I told the guy that I would not release his information without his approval. So.
No, that's totally understandable. So Blake, did you know the other scores? I guess in the state. I mean, I don't know if any other scores stood out.
Yeah. Would you like me to walk through them real quick?
Yeah, if you could. And what game surprised you? I know I'm seeing some of them, so I didn't. All
right.
Know.
So the only one I got wrong was Simmons and Taylorsville, but Taylorsville had the ball like first and goal with 29 seconds left, down 12-8 with a chance to win, and Simmons stopped them. So Simmons wins South 1A. In the North, Calhoun City blew out Biggersville, kind of how I expected it. It was like 36-16, somewhere around there. 2A, we got exactly the matchup we thought, which was East Webster beat Kemper County, although that was a fantastic game. That was back and forth, tied late. And then we had Heidelberg. They eventually blew out Mize, although Mize played with them for the first half. In 3A, Noxubee County beat Winona. Winona beat them in the regular season, but I thought Noxubee would win. They won by 30 in the playoffs. Raleigh beat Seminary by a couple scores. I think it was 27-14. Kosciuszko beats Louisville 17-7. South, obviously, you guys have talked about Poplarville, Columbia. Columbia won by a score late. 5A, West Point, and then Brookhaven blew out Laurel, just absolutely annihilated them. In 6A, we had Warren Central beat Ridgeland by 3, 45-42, and this game was a thriller till the last seconds and half seconds. It was a wonderful game. Hattiesburg beats Picayune, and then we just talked about 7A, so there's your little wrap-up.
Man, do you plan on going to the state championship games? Or
I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys there.
Okay, I mean that's what we're looking at golf. I wish we had more coast teams going, but we'd have golf for it. But still, we like to go to the games.
Hey, you'll be there for the grand finale. You'll be there for the grand finale, and remember that they're playing on a real grass field. There would have been 6 games played in 3 days before they ever step on the field. So just remember that when you're thinking about what the field is going to look like when they step on it.
Yeah, that's a good thing, and I haven't looked that far ahead as far as weather-wise. I know I've been to these games where it has rained and lost power. In fact, at Mississippi State, when South Panola and Oak Grove had to play the next day, they couldn't play that night, and then went to Jackson when they used to play there, and it was snowing.
Right.
So I haven't looked ahead to see what the weather is. So hopefully the weather obviously is not raining. But yes, that is something to think about, that it is grass, and it is the 6th game of the final game of the 7 games. 7 games. So that will be the 7th game played. So it will be some wear and tear on it, but certainly glad that Gulfport was able to make it, and glad that you were able to make it on the show all the way from where you said in California, and look forward to meeting you up there.
No, thank you for letting me come on the show. I'm in Middle California in a town called Cambria. It's about the size of most of the Mississippi cities. So small town California, if you can believe that.
Yes. Well, very good. Glad you're able to still keep in touch, obviously, with on your visit out there, and look forward to come back and look forward to your videos and your podcast. And where can they find it? Connect you with?
Yeah, on YouTube, it's Magnolia Shine Podcast. On TikTok, it's Magnolia Shine Podcast. And then on Facebook, we have a Magnolia Shine Podcast as well, Facebook page, but we also have my own personal one that is Blake Levine Sports Reporter. All right, guys, good night. Yep,
right.
Go ahead.
Thank you. No, I was just saying, you get to keep your mustache this time.
I was never worried.
So we'll have to see about state. I don't have a mustache, so I can't put that with Gulfport and Tupelo, but we shall see. But certainly appreciate you joining us, Blake.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
All right, Blake Levine there. Again, podcast, catch him there everywhere. I share his videos. Like I say, anytime, especially coach related, he does little short clip videos, and they're good. I like them. I might start trying to do them, but again, I got a face for radio and not a face for those videos. But being a stat man, but certainly glad he was able to join us first time he was, and he's, you can hear it as, of course, he's a reporter, so he talks very fluently and knows what he's talking about. And I know Tupelo is going to be a tough task, for Gulfport, but hey, Gulfport is just playing. So man, they playing pretty good, and Gulfport has a grass field, correct?
Well, and the thing is that Matt, I really think that with this this running game, that Tupelo is going to try to do the power-esque level. Gulfport has played against teams all year long that were straight run teams, and they've been very, very contagious of stopping those. And I just don't think that it's going to be shocking or anything like that. And Gulfport they have a passing game, even though they've got Cooper Crosby. A lot of the plays that you saw today were through the air, and there was a lot of opportunity where there were trick plays. Just because Cooper Crosby scored 4 touchdowns, how did he get there to do that? They ran flea flickers, trick plays, deception plays, which Gulfport has been very, very good at so far this year. And that really helped put them in positions to make those lengthy run plays or those short yardage plays.
Yes, it definitely has. And like I say, Blake was talking about the grass field and being 6 games played on it before they get on for the 7th game. And Gulfport does have a grass field at Milner Stadium. Tupelo, when looking at the highlights, looks like, I believe that's the one that they play on the blue field, if not mistaken. That is Tupelo. So which is turf. I want to say they do play the turf. So anyway, yes, it's again a great win for Gulfport. Fortunately, like I say, Picayune, Poplarville were not able to get the wins tonight. And again, all the teams will meet up in Mississippi State at Davis Way Stadium next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I have that on the Facebook page because I know this goes out to X and on YouTube, but Gulf Coast High School football on Facebook. And of course, and you're, of course, the HD Experience, the podcast will come out Monday, Tuesday, and you'll have Blake on there to get a little bit more from him. I know we only had him on here shortly before he got cut off because everybody was calling him and texting him as expected. I mean, you make it the state. First time as a head coach, coaching and took 3 years to get Gulfport there. Haven't been there since 1982, and they did lose, so they're looking for their first state championship. They have not played Tupelo. So, and of course you'll be there. Are you guys doing the radio still?
I don't know because based on the MHSA contract they have with Jackson-based media company, not Super Talk. I'm not sure because Super Talk normally does not have the opportunity to do that. However, as you know, Super Talk is a big corporate group, and there's a lot of checks and things like that above my pay grade that I can't really say that I know. I'll be there. Whether I'll be on the radio or not, that's yet to be seen. But that's not saying I wouldn't do it. It's just not. I don't really. I have no honest earthly idea of what's going to happen with that. Now, I did get a text from the news director who asked me what day I normally have Coach Pennick's interview on, and I told him, I said, well, I normally have him twice. If he's not on my podcast, I normally interview him for the pregame on Wednesday. But that being said, I don't know if that's going to continue. I told Coach Pennick I would definitely let him know what's going on with all that.
True. Yes, I know. I've called a couple games on the called Lumberton one year. It was like a 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon game. They wanted their game to be called on the radio, and then of course called St. Stanislaus Championship. And so, but if you're not going to be on the radio, you are going to physically be there, like you mentioned earlier.
Yes, I will physically be there. I know the Davis Wade Stadium very well, as I cover them for Super Talk in regular season games. I cover Mississippi State football games for the news network, and so I know my way around there pretty well. And so I'll try to see what credentials or so if I need to be able to take advantage of that. So.
Yeah, well, it's on the website. I know that's where on the MHSAA. I looked this past week, and it said to click on it, and it wasn't working at the time. Last year they did it before South State, but you would think it would wait till after South State to let who's going to be there and who's not.
Well, and also because I own a newspaper and I'm a member of the Mississippi Press Association, sometimes they have a special scenario for passes for us. I don't really know that. I'll have to call up and find that out. And I'll find it out by Monday or Tuesday. But that being said, we'll see what happens. But I definitely, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out by tomorrow probably. I'll talk to Super Talk and see what the scenario with all that stuff goes. So.
Yes, I know when we went up to Northwest for the Gulf Coast game, like I say, Wayne actually made hotel reservations for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I don't know if I don't plan on going up there Thursday, and so I'll have to see if Picayune Poplarville would have made it, it would have been pretty much a given to go up there Friday, obviously, to see them play back-to-back games, but they're not up there. But still like to go see these other teams that you mentioned, you hear about, and you don't get to see. Yeah. So I have to see if we're going to go up Friday or Saturday just for the Gulfport game. As far as we'll see the games before that.
For me, it's probably going to be Saturday, but I'll head up there early on Saturday. And one of the good things about that the MHSA has done is that they've made the state championships on the 3 college campuses, which is great because I have the opportunity. I know places where I can stay at whenever I'm up there in any of those universities. I have places because I've had to cover games for Super Talk or for the paper and things as such. So I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to stay at whenever I head up there, which is a good thing. So.
Yes. So. Most certainly, and I hate to think that this is the last live stream necessarily, especially if we go up there. I go up there I usually do a live stream during the game a couple times. I don't sit there and live stream the whole game, but because it's on TV, but I usually live stream. Now, as far as like a show like this, I don't know if we'll try to have a special show, win or lose, but especially win if Gulfport wins, but to have, I say like a recap show. We may do a live stream show, but this probably is going to be the last one on Friday night of this year. And then, of course, we have the state championships and we have the North-South All-Star game, which will be played on in the next weekend, the 12th. I want to say theirs is before the Mississippi Owl game. Or might be afterward. Is it the 19th?
I was going to say, I thought the Blackwell Classic was always after the Mississippi Alabama All-Star game. So.
Yeah, they switch it up at times. So, like I say, we hopefully this is not the last live stream that we have, but we certainly.
Is the Mississippi Alabama in Mobile this time? Or is it?
No, I want to say they put it out. No, I want to say it's not in Mobile. It's in Alabama, but it is not in Mobile.
Like in
so
or something like that.
Yes. I would have to to look it up to see exactly where it is. But in fact, Saturday, December 14th. Oh, that's the rosters. Where did it? The event. That's not the 13th. The 30th. What date is this? This is October. So it is. The event will be held at. Is it showing? Showing Hattiesburg. I thought.
Okay,
On December 13th, which I thought it was. Why did I think it was not in Alabama? I mean Mississippi this year, but it's showing at USM on Saturday, December 13th. So, and I'm looking at the article, making sure I have the right year, and it does say October 1st, 2025. So,
yeah, no, that's good because
yeah, that's good right there
that's
at USM.
South Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah. Most definitely. So,
and the field will still be in good shape at least around that time. They won't have played on it for about 2 weeks, so it'll be in good shape. So.
Yep. So again, the final scores, are posted on Facebook. We do have some defending champions that are coming back, and some teams that made it last year. Of course, Poplarville, the defending 4A champs, won't be there. Picayune lost tonight, but again, Gulfport did win. They will face Tupelo, who they have not faced before, and Tupelo won last year. And looking at the state championship, they won in 1992, then they won last year, Tupelo that is, and looking to back-to-back is what they're looking to do. They did defeat, again, Brandon last year, 28-16. That is Tupelo. It's going to be obviously a good matchup there between these teams with Gulfport and Tupelo. So look forward to that. But I guess we're going to wrap it up here as it hits about 11 o'clock. I know we still got over 500 fans, at least on Facebook, tuning in. If you guys have any questions, I even posted if a fan wanted to come on. I know you're headed up to Hattiesburg. And like I said, unfortunately, I came on during that when Gulfport was having a running clock, and then Picayune was trying to come back, and Poplarville was holding on to the lead. I started live streaming 2 hours ago, and to try to let the fans see those end of those games and see the last time, at Milner Stadium, and with see if Picayune could come back and Poplarville hold on. But so I've been on for just over 2 hours to try to show the fans the end of those games like I have been doing. So, but it's been a great season, Hunter. And again, it's not over with, but the live stream here on Friday night, then the last live stream, we've done it now for several weeks in a row. It didn't start off like that. We started it off with another person, and they decided to do their own thing. And now, we have done our thing, and appreciate you joining me as much as you can. I understand sometimes you don't make it. And as long as I got fans out there that want to watch and do the post game, we look to even get it bigger and better next year. If the fans, tell us what they want to see, we try to have as many guests as we can on, even fans of teams. I wouldn't mind having them, come on and speak their game. So again, one team is left out of 25 coast teams, and that is the Gulfport Admirals, trying to win their first state championship with Coach Pennock in company there. Again, a great team, and a very hot team that they're playing. So is USM going to win tomorrow then against Troy?
A lot of it depends on, if USM can slow down the run. Troy's obviously a very run-favorable team, but if they can slow down the run and force Troy to pass, and they can at least come out a little bit better offensively, a little more balanced, and kind of relieve Braylon Braxton of some pressure. He's got talent. He just needs to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm predicting Southern with a 28-24 win and a chance to earn that trip to James Madison. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I looked there. 6.5 point favorites is USM, at home. So,
be careful.
A great job.
Like I told you last week, be careful with the points.
Hey, I'm not planning on touching that game. So,
I think I saved you some money too last week. But hey, it's
Lane Kiffin won me some money today. So I had them -7 and then under 62. So it was that did good.
I of course, I'm always thankful for that his boy had a good year in Oxford. But I hope that didn't make his decision easier or anything like that, because it'll be a tough road when you build your foundation of your university on getting to the playoffs, and then you choose to do something else. That's going to be a tough road. So it'll be a tough decision to make. So
yes, it will be. But for the last time, I guess, like I say, on streaming on Friday night, we certainly appreciate the fans joining us. Appreciate Hunter. Like I said, the Gazebo Gazette on Facebook, The Real Gazebo Gazette. Of course, the founder, and I'll say producer. You're not necessarily the producer. You're the founder of the HD Experience, which I share on across social medias. And where can the fans find you at? As I just mentioned some of them, but finish it off for me.
All the podcasts on Apple Podcast, on Amazon Music Podcast, on iHeart Radio Podcast, on Spotify. Anywhere there's a podcast, you can find us. And I've also I've got some good YouTube shots I do with whenever I'm on the Ricky Matthews show. I'm a frequent guest where we talk about football, and especially a little bit of coast football and some other things, but also too it's always fun. And Matt, I really thank you much. You've been a good friend and a good follower, and somebody that I can trust to help me out with providing good information.
Yeah, yes, and the same here. Like I say, we just happened to meet Media Day, and I know you've been on the 228 podcast when they had their podcast, so I know what you're talking about.
All right, my friend. Well, I got Super Talk calling me. Let me let you go.
Okay, we'll tune in to Super Talk.
You take care.
All right, Hunter. Yes, sir. All right. Hunter Dawkins there again, Gazebo Gazette. Appreciate him. Of course, we had Blake Pennock on. As little as we had him on, unfortunately, he didn't stay on for too long. He was getting disconnected as people were calling and blowing up his phone. He did text to apologize for that, and did really on cloud nine, as he should be, the third year there at Gulfport, and get him to the state championship, wins South State Championship. So, and won the region championship. So Gulfport, again, the best team I've seen ever, just offense, defense. I mean, 3 playoff games with 3 running clocks. I don't know. I'm sure that has happened in the state somewhere. On the coast, I don't believe that it has happened. They have 3 playoff games and all of them be running clocks. They won tonight 40-7, and Picayune falls short at Hattiesburg 47-27. Hattiesburg goes back to the state championship game, and Poplarville loses just over 2 minutes to go. Columbia scores 20-14. So Poplarville will not be able to defend their 4A state championship game. Still 25 coast teams, and then you end up with 3 making it to South State, and then one of them making it to the state championship game next Saturday, 1 o'clock at Davis Way Stadium at Mississippi State. So I'm fixing to be signing off. Anybody have any questions or comments, anything to that nature, I'll be glad to answer them. Certainly appreciate everybody joining us through X, through Facebook, through YouTube. I am on TikTok at Gulf Coast High School football, I believe it is. I do post on TikTok and on Instagram at Coast Football. We're still shining a light just because we're coming down to the last state championship games next week. Then we have the North-South game, the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. That was the last 2 games of the year. Football is 24/7, 365. We always try to come up with something each and every day. And certainly appreciate everybody joining us, even though, again, a lot of teams, a lot of fans may not, their teams have lost and made it to the playoffs or didn't make it to the playoffs. They're building already for 2026, and we look to be back next year. Maybe do something a little bit bigger and better with the post-game show. But until then, you're at the right place to know everything about Coast football and statewide information. Thanks to Blake Levine, Hunter Dawkins, Scott Watkins, the Sun Herald, Blake Pennock, the South State champion 7A Gulfport Admirals. Appreciate, as the number 1 fans are right here on Coast football, and they can't do it without you. We'll see you at the state championship game. I'm Matt Stats, and I'm out.